Hello, everybody. Welcome to the big show. I'm Jeremy Torres. I am your host here every day at 2:30. Of course, got to have the bass drop. Our theme music, if it's good enough for Deion Sanders, it's good enough for me. Today, it's pretty good little topic. I put a little bit of work behind this one, and I'm excited to share it with you. It's about being a closer, about how many deals have you closed? Are you looking to be the natural-born closer? Do you want that Mercedes, or do you want the set of steak knives, like on Glenn Ross? Coffee is for closers, right? Well, today we're going to be looking at that term, specifically at the term in the word closed. Because what happens when something closes? Well, closing is a conclusion. It's a final step. It's a window of opportunity has closed, right? If you're a judge or a lawyer, if you're in the legal field, the case is closed. It's final. But I'm around some pretty special people, and I got the chance to speak with this guy, Jim Cathcart. Jim Cathcart has been speaking for ever and ever and ever. He's got multiple books, like dozens of books. This one is called What to Do When You're the Speaker, and it's not necessarily in this book, but it's from a conversation that I had with Jim about the word close and what happens to the seller's mind when they are using that term all the time, closing the deal, going for the close, closing the sale. Jim says that you actually sabotage your own future by using that word close all the time. We work so hard and so long with all of the appointments just to get into the door to see these people. We've worked long and hard to convince these folks that what they need, we have. We've got that solution. And we finally get that yes. Like yesterday, we talked about overcoming objections. We say it's an opportunity to close. But what happens after closing should be the beginning of a long road with many returns, both physically and monetarily. But when we close the deal, our mind oftentimes closes the relationship. Why? Because it's on to the installation department for the client, or it's on to the fulfillment center for the client. And for us, it's on to the next prospect, the next appointment, to open yet another opportunity that we're aiming to close as soon as possible. It's backwards. So Jim talks about intent leads to behavior. Behavior leads to action. And action leads to an outcome. So instead of closing the deal, we change. It's a paradigm shift. Very small things can shift our life. Very small changes. Instead of going for the close, we simply ask for the order. Right? I mean, bam. Ask for the order. How about confirming the sale? We talked about providing this, and this. All I need is your confirmation, and have them sign. You know, Jim isn't the only person who has influenced me heavily, although Jim's a big influence on me. But also, this guy who's got two thumbs and loves Steve Nudelberg, Steve Nudelberg talks about the power of words in his book, 27 Confessions of a Serial Salesman, 27 Rules for influencers and leaders that will change your life and business. In this book, rule number 22 states that anyone who wants to be really successful in life must focus on their vocabulary and how your words will shape your outcome. Again, it's a paradigm shift by shifting your language. In this rule, he talks about shifting just 3 words that are game changers. All right, we're going to cover those 3 words right here, right now. Number 1, I talked about it earlier. I said we work long and hard to get those appointments, to get in front of these people. And I did that on purpose because a lot of you probably heard that one. Yeah, I make a lot of appointments. You're not working unless you're on appointments. Steve says change the word appointments to visit. Steve says you make an appointment with your doctor, but you visit with a friend. You know, when we talk about closing these deals and closing the book on the relationships in your mind, and you change it, this word appointment to visit and visiting with a friend, it changes the way you're looking at how you're holding these people in your mind. What kind of esteem you're giving them. Are they prospects or are these friends that you're making? The next word after that is start using the word fit when you're trying to discuss why you want to see these people when you visit. So when you're on the phone, you could say the reason for my visit is I want to see if we are a good fit, specifically if you're a good fit. This one's a little deeper because you're not just getting the appointment, you're talking about visiting, and that changes kind of the feel of the visit. But this one shifts the power from the prospect that you're visiting to you as the salesperson, because you just created a challenge in the prospect's mind. You want to see if they're a good fit. Everyone wants to fit in, so you're challenging them. Why wouldn't I be a good fit? It changes the whole feel of the meeting. So once you're visiting, and you've determined now during your visit that they are a good fit, the third word we have to start putting into our lexicon is value. The sale is never made if you cannot deliver an abundance of value. And if you think about it, if you know anything whatsoever about the Nudelbergs, this makes perfect sense when you consider that Steve and Mark Nudelberg over at On the Ball Ventures are the creators of ROR. Not ROI, which is return on investment, but ROR, return on relationships. Valuing personal connections over transactional connections, relationships. It really is a big deal. It's a game changer. And then lastly, I saved possibly the best for last. And it's because of, again, the value, the relationships, and the go-tos that I use from this person. And we're talking about the go-giver himself, Bob Burg. He talks about, in his book, The Go-Giver, in a chapter titled Full Circle, that it will, and I'm not going to give the whole thing away because it's not really a salesy book, it's a parable, which means it's a story that we learn from. And so it's not so salesy. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what's in the chapter, but I will say that without the laws that we learn in this chapter and in the whole book of The Go-Giver, there is no future business if we start closing our deals, because we then close the loop, and there cannot be receptivity or reciprocity if we close our deals, we close our loops. So because you're closing that relationship, when you close the deal in your mind and you pass that client over to your counterpart in the service chain, you've highly raised the stakes of the probability of closing that relationship. So, good news. In Bob Burg's daily impact emails, you can sign up for it. Go to thegogiver.com, look up Bob Burg. He has a daily impact email that's amazing. In today's email, he reminds us that the sale is not just a concept, but a reality that involves touching lives and valuing people for who they are, not just what they can give us. Making a sale is a concept. Touching lives is reality. Sales is not about concepts. It's about people. So his key point today is that ultimately it is about people. It always is. And seeing them as valuable in and of itself, the relationship alone, rather than the means to an end to your sale. People generally know the difference in terms of which way they are being viewed or dealt with, whether they're being creating a personal relationship or a transactional relationship. Because even online, people don't do business and refer business to those computers that they know, like, and trust. Rather, they do business with people they know, like, and trust. And now, we know that knowing, liking, and trusting is always the result of relating to people in a very human way. So thank you to my three of my heroes today for today's show topic here. Wowzy. Bob Burg, Steve Nudelberg, and Jim Cathcart. I have a call to action for you. I'd like you to take a moment, reflect on the sales that you've made maybe in the past 12 months. I want you to literally list the sales that you've made in the last 12 months, 6 months if it's a high commodity sale, then listed in the last month. I want you to ask yourself, how many visits have you had with the buyers since you closed those deals? And I want you to really make a note of that. Then I'd like you, and in fact, I challenge you, on your next few opportunities, after you listed the ones that you closed, going forward, I want you to list the ones that you visit. And I want you to determine if they're a good fit for you, and vice versa. And once you've demonstrated the tremendous value that, of course, you offer, I want you to ask for the sale or confirm the order. After doing this a few times, I'm really curious about the impact that you have in building more personal relationships. And I bet you'll see a spike on your calendar as you get to visit more and more with an ever-expanding network of people who you can serve. And your book of business will stay evergreen without searching for new prospects after every single close. I hope today was valuable to you. Hello, extreme close-up. I hope today was valuable to you as it was to me putting this stuff together. I appreciate you guys being a part of this show. I think I left that music on the whole time. It looks like it's been looping, but I hope it was you were able to hear enough, but it made sense. I may have to redo this, which is fine. I can redo this another day. But we appreciate you. We'll see you next week when we come back here next Monday. We're here Monday through Thursday. Coaching Done Better is the place to go where you meet the coaches that can change your mind, body, or business. So consider visiting the coachingdonebetter.com. Maybe find a coach who's a good fit and have them start serving you with unprecedented value. That's my ask of you guys today. Thanks, and